It's a pleasure to be here this morning. The Hollyhock Lane Parade is one of my favorites. It's my favorite, but I have to say it's one of my favorites. I do a lot of parades. And it means a lot to have been asked to give the remarks this year. This parade has a story that makes it especially relevant at this moment in history. The Hollyhock Lane Parade is so meaningful and beloved because it was born from this community. Not from any government, but from neighbors who came together and decided they wanted to do something to improve their community and quality of life. So they took the initiative and just did it. What started 85 years ago with a few families and their kids riding their bikes down this alley quickly became an annual tradition. It wasn't long until members of this community formed the Calvin Giddings Patriotic Association, named after these two streets right here, to continue organizing their community parade to, quote, instill patriotism and promote neighborliness. Look at how great this event is today. How much bigger, how much more treasured it has become than its founding families could have imagined. It was started by just a handful of families decades ago, and it's now the longest running continuous Independence Day parade in all of Michigan. That story, this celebration, might seem small relative to the vastness of the whole country, but this story is a perfect embodiment of what the founders of this country wanted for the American people. They wanted a land where people would be free to live their own lives, to make their own meaning, where communities would have their own unique traditions and habits and ways of life that come from the people who live there, not from some so-and-so hundreds of miles away. They didn't want every community or city or state to look and act the same. They wanted to let Austin be Austin and let West Michigan be nice. And they knew then what unfortunately some people need reminding of today, that real meaning does not and cannot come from government or from politics. We find lasting meaning, worth, identity, and mission here at home, in family, in friends, in work, in our communities. We see too many people today trying to find their worth and meaning in political parties or in public figures. But that meaning is shallow, and it leads to the hyper-partisanship that is driving wedges between people. The truth is that most Americans aren't super political. Most Americans aren't super partisan. And despite what social media and the plain old media might have you believe, there is far more that unites us than divides us. We have a common set of principles and values that shape our identity as Americans, passed down through the generations and built into our constitutional system. Who are we? We value liberty, justice, equality under the law. We may disagree on how to accomplish our goals. We may sometimes lack relevant information. We may sometimes even misapply our own principles. But what we share as Americans is far more powerful and important than our political identities. Our differences aren't meaningless. It's our diversity with our various backgrounds and ideas that make this country such a unique, exciting place to live. But we can't let these differences become an insurmountable wall between us. We must see the goodness in others, and we must remember that people are not bad or evil simply because they disagree with us. Their points of view are shaped by stories and backgrounds different from our own. And that's okay. That's what America is about. The Declaration of Independence, one of our most cherished symbols of liberty, is 243 years old today. As we honor it, I hope we take a few moments to reflect on the brilliance of America, a country that continues to strive, however imperfectly, to live up to its founding principles. A country that has provided opportunity for so many, including the opportunity to start community parades and to better our circumstances and help others in need. The founders were imperfect individuals, and our founding principles have been imperfectly applied throughout our history. But it is only by restoring a shared commitment to liberty, justice, and equality under the law, and by rejecting the partisan loyalties and rhetoric that divide and dehumanize us, that this great country can live up to its founding spirit. Today in this little alley, I'm feeling pretty good about it. So here's to another 243 years. Thanks. Happy birthday, America.